The Scamp! You know what's just absolutely awesome that I did just last night? You see this fancy distributor here? I did an entire video about installing this thing, but I deleted the video. So I'm sorry, you don't get to see that. If you can't tell, I'm in some sort of mood about myself after that incident. I was not pleased. Y'all missed some good content too. I did a real good job. But things have changed other than just the distributor. You see, I noticed the other day there's a leak coming back here from between the bell housing and the transmission, and you know it's just boop, boop, dripping water. So that tells me that there's a core plug that's leaking back there. Chickens, they need to calm down. They're going to get themselves in trouble. On top of that, I'm getting kind of low on coolant too. So yeah. There was still some kind of in there 2 days ago. There's not now. So there's two things that could happen here. Either you do the lame thing, drop the transmission out, do lame stuff with that, or I can pull the engine out and do something that I've been wanting to do to this thing. First off, it needs resealed, so that's kind of just a given. It's going to get new oil pan gasket and new gaskets up front and front seal and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's going to get resealed. But there's something else that's going to happen. Something a little bigger that might be on top of your head right now. You see that? That's a closed chamber head. You see the head that's on that car is number 452, open chamber. That that car has very little compression in that engine. This closed chamber head. Chickens, do I need to adjust you guys? This closed chamber head, I can get milled down 34 thousandths for this particular one to match the other side that's going to get milled 25 thousandths. It's already been milled 9. So it's going to end up having a 68cc chamber. So that's going to give me a good bump of compression versus the 80cc's that those 452 heads have from the factory. Now, you see that these things are kind of pinkish red. I actually spot checked these things, used some fluid to figure out if there's any cracks. That's why this head is different from this head. You see, the head that matched this one turned out to have a crack in it right about here. Chicken, I swear you need to just run off. So this head has already been milled about 9 thousandths versus that other one, so it's going to get milled 25 and the other one's going to get milled 34. So that's something to look forward to. Now the thing is, my machinist buddy, he lives kind of far away, so I don't know what the timeline is going to look like for this video. It's going to be a little bit before I can get the heads to him, but believe you me, I'm going to be trying to get them to him as quick as I can, so it shouldn't take too awful long. Now back on the Scamp, something that I, in the video that shall never be seen again, I actually noticed something about this distributor. So this is an Excel dual point distributor. It actually uses Chevrolet style valves, so that way you can pop an Allen head through here and adjust, and there's another one back off over here. You can adjust your dwell really easily with the Allen head. But there's a problem with this wire right here. You see somewhere between right here where it connects to the wire that goes to the coil and where it actually connects into the points in there, there's a break in this wire. I have zero continuity across this thing. So it makes it to where this distributor, though yes it's a dual point, is only running on the trailing set of points, which just so happens to be in this wire that's easily disconnected. So that's something that I'm going to have to fix in this thing. How fast will I fix it? I don't know. Another thing you may notice if you actually pay attention to this car is this distributor would not fit with those fancy valve covers I had, so I actually had to go get this set, which was off of a 440 that all I can assume came out of a C body. I'm pretty sure that's what this heater hose holding bracket tells me. Now I got something crazy and silly looking that was on this little breather nipple that I don't understand how it happened. So I'm going to go grab that real quick and show you what I mean. This was on that breather nipple. I don't even know how in the world this happens. Like, what is this? Oh, by the way, that right there is a cracked head. The poor 516 casting cracked head. You can see right there where the cracks are. Yeah, my machinist buddy said that was kaput. By the way, that's its own separate video. If you want to go watch that, I highly recommend it. actually showcase the process of doing the spot check business.
Yeah, like, how? How did that work? How did that go on? Did someone boil this? Did someone heat it up with a torch? I don't know. I do have gaskets for you, so don't you worry.
There's a plane way up there in the sky making noise. Alright, plans have changed. Those 516 heads are not going to be getting used because I talked with a buddy of mine and we decided that we're actually going to use my 440 source stealth heads that are CNC ported on this engine. So he's going to come over tomorrow after he gets off work. He, you know, one of those night shift kind of guys. He's going to come on over and we're going to pluck this engine out. I've got some gaskets on the way since my gasket set's getting a little thin. Going to give this thing a complete and total reseal, throw those other heads on, and I may or may not get some pistons on the way. That is to be determined. By the way, if I seem a little lackluster right now, I'm running on about 3 hours of sleep and my third cup of coffee. This is the life of an ambulance driver. Yeah, last night was insane. But at least I got my dear sweet black coffee here to put some pep back in my step. Anyway, I'm going to do something that's going to seem kind of counterintuitive. I'm actually going to get this thing fired up so that way I can kind of move it over there to where I can wash the thing off, wash this engine bay, which really isn't too bad, but I want to make sure that it's going to be nice and clean. I'm going to put some water back in it since it's basically leaked almost everything out. And I'm actually going to dig into this carburetor. Once it's all said and done, I'm going to end up pulling it back up here and make it to where my wheels are going to be straight, because this car with the spool sucks to move, and it's kind of going to have to get the engine pulled right here. So the car's going to have to go back, because I don't think that this cherry picker is going to move around in the dirt too well. It sure didn't whenever we put this 390 here. Which, by the way, yeah, there's a 390 under there, which eventually is destined for this truck right here. I just have to get some cab mounts because the cab is sagged so dang much that I cannot install the steering column. So yeah, there's that. If any of my Mopar specific viewers are halfway interested in bump side Fords, this one's actually a 67. Don't mind that. That says F100. This is actually a 67 F250. I've done some videos on this thing. They're not the best. I'm not going to lie to you. But they're videos. And they count. So go watch them. So we got the battery charger going. It's currently sitting at 66%. I only charge it at 2 amps. You know, I don't want to cook my battery or anything. It was at 60% whenever I first got it started, so you know, it's been going for about half an hour now. It's doing its job. But since it's going to take a little bit for that, I'm actually going to go run some errands in the meantime. You know, it's been a couple hours since I last checked on this, but this gauge has been reading the exact same thing the entire time. Flip through it, says 12.7 volts, 12.8, but you know, you go to battery percentage, it just keeps saying 66. So what that means to me is I don't believe it. So I'm just going to unplug it. Unhook here, unhook out there. Get this puppy out the way. We are closed for business. Boom. Make sure that window goes down, because it's going to be hot. Power on. Now to see how cantankerous she's going to be. I hadn't fired this thing up in a bit. Perfect. Hey, why is there just a plug sitting there? Oh yeah, I remember this. I pulled this out of the firewall the other day, but could not find where it went. Alright. Ignition on, pump, pump.
Well, she ran long enough to get here, so we're A-okay with that.
And always remember, turn the power off, you dummy. Oh, the Malibus you will slay. Oh, you're gonna take more money away. Those of you that don't get it, you'll see later. That's meant for one person in particular. Anyway, I'm gonna give this thing a bath because I feel like being crazy and doing that kind of stuff. So, yay me being insane. So the car's sitting back at its original spot. Well, I say original. It's slightly further this way. Got the wheels all straight, so that way maybe it'll be a little easier to push it backwards. Slightly flatter ground, so hopefully that'll aid in getting the engine picked on up out of there. And now, since I was a bit unreasonable and went and washed the car, I'm happy I did. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy I did. But I really didn't need to. Anyway, I'm about to start taking the front dress off of this engine, pull the radiator out, all the good stuff. I still need to dig into this carburetor, but I have gaskets now, so maybe I'll do that later tonight. It would be nice if I didn't have to pull this all apart. Oh well, 'tis part of the game. So if we didn't need better proof that this is actually happening, this thing is naked again. I haven't seen it like this in a while. But I got most of the front dress off. I'm going to pull the radiator before I bother with the fan, just because it's easier to do it that way instead of trying to mingle around right in front of this thing. So once I get the radiator pulled out, I'll get the fan off, and all the front accessories will be out of there. So once I get to that point, I'm fairly well finished for what I'm going to do today. And tomorrow, my buddy is going to come over here, and he and I are going to help yoink this thing right on out of here. So you just stay tuned. Hey, that's a mighty fine head you got here. It's well then, I don't think this is usable. Why'd you do this?
So I could have a 318 shaped puzzle.
Oh, nice. You know what? It's a mighty fine looking puzzle. I'd weld this back up and bolt it together in a heartbeat. How about you?
I think it'll do. It was cracked once, so I just cracked it a couple more times.
Yeah, did the old this old Tony trick. Pow! And then it falls apart.
Yep.
And hey, it looks like a heart. How sweet. You giving this to someone for Valentine's Day?
Nobody just quite yet. We'll see.
Dang it. It'd be a perfect gift, you gotta admit.
It would be a perfect gift, and it would be me themed.
Yeah.
Automotive and stupid.
Yeah, you know what? I may have to do the same thing for some lucky lady someday.
Some lucky lady.
Couldn't be us, though.
I'd consider her unlucky, to be honest.
Ain't that the truth? It's like, hey, honey, here's what you gotta deal with. This is the stupidity that we go through.
Here's the junk pile.
So, speaking of junk, I'm a stupid YouTuber, aren't I? I forget how to do this. I'm bad at this.
I think so.
So, we went and pulled the engine out of this car, and I never once turned on the camera.
I think you found yourself in a bad way. Just woke up one morning and the engine's out.
You know, it's amazing how that happens. Like when those little gremlins come through in the night and all of a sudden there's just a 400 sitting on the ground again.
Like, this ain't supposed to be here.
No. Interesting thing though, we pulled the thing out of the cherry picker and it dumped a bunch of ants on my engine. So that's fun. It's a good thing I taped up where the carburetor goes. But yeah.
Those are horsepower ants.
They are.
They're attracted to horsepower. They know that there's something in there.
Each ant gives this thing 1 extra horsepower.
I'd say a tenth.
A tenth?
A tenth.
Well, at the very least, there's still a lot of ants there.
Yeah. Well, we might have to clear out the infestation with some aluminum heads.
Yeah. You like that idea, don't you?
Yes. The sound of horsepower intrigues me.
Well, the sound of horsepower. On a different note, it seems I'm stupid and unfamiliar with these engines. Who would have thought that? The main reason why this thing started to get pulled in the first place was there was a leak coming from back here. I was like, oh, core plug. Great. Let me just yank it out and let's replace the core plug. Guess what's not here on these engines? I could have swore that there was, but there's not. So, my main reasoning for pulling this thing out is gone. But my secondary reasoning is still going to happen. I'm going to, give this thing a nice cleaning. I am going to spot check this because someone commented saying, hey, there's not a leaking core plug back there. You cracked your block. So I'm going to just hopefully show 100% for truth that that is an incorrect statement. What is it? What do you think, Cat? This is your second time being on camera.
Do you know what
Getting
time
bigger.
it is?
What time is it?
It's cantaloupe time.
Cantaloupe?
And the ants can't have any of it. It's mine.
You know what? If you throw it out on the ground, eventually the ants will get to it.
Not if I get to it first.
So yeah, this is it's gonna get cleaned up. We'll figure out exactly what's going on, and as long as this block is still good, great. We'll continue on with my initial plan of hopping it up, and if it's not, well then, I do have another block. It's no big deal. I'll have this one set aside as like a race block, you know. I ain't afraid to weld up some cracks.
Or run it with no water.
Hard block it?
Hard block.
Hard block.
Yeah, I'm that level of stupid.
Ain't that right, Kitty? You like being stupid, don't you?
I hard block my daily driver.
Good news! I spot checked the back of this block. If y'all are curious on how to do this, this is checking for cracks. I made a video all about doing this to a set ahead, so go back and watch that. But I am seeing no cracks in the back of this block, which is good. So, ha! If you just happen to be watching the guy that commented saying it was cracked, it's not cracked, and I'm happy. So now we're going to do the fourth video in the row where it's like this. I'm going to clean this block. Once again, this is not supposed to be a cleaning channel, but I kind of have to do that because this thing's going to get painted. So, yippee! Stay tuned for that.
By the way, did y'all know that I'm a songwriter? I actually have an album out, and I'm getting ready to work on a second one, which is going to include this fancy bass right here.
Now, off on completely different tangents, I'm out here wet sanding the hood for whatever reason. You know, really, I've just been tired of the way that the gray spray paint all over the car looked, so since I had this thing off, I went ahead, I did cut out more of the understructure of this thing, so that's a little bit less weight, and I just, you know, I wanted to make it look a little prettier. So this, to a lot of people, is going to look kind of crappy, but it's more appealing to my eye. Having some color to kind of pop through, it's one of my favorite things that this car's had. In fact, this has been my favorite side of the car for the entirety of me owning the thing, simply because you can actually see some of the factory color. So, I'm happy to be doing this. Soon, I'm going to be getting to this side of the car to try to get a lot of this crap off of here. So, look out for that! Alright guys, sorry for the sudden change in video quality. Man, this thing really is weird. I had to get a new camera, and this one is a little bit less fancy than the one that I had before. Because the one I had before got too dang hot out here in the sun and decided to quit. So, this 400, it is completely clean. I took the heads off and everything. Found out that the pistons are 114 thousandths in the hole. I got it all wrapped up here. I got some fresh pistons I'm going to put in this thing. Got some rods that I cleaned up. They're in the shop over there. And, yeah, I'm just going to swap some pistons onto those rods and then do a quick little turnaround. The car got cleaned up a little bit. Nothing really has changed, though. But, yeah. Unfortunately, you guys missed out. You've especially missed out with this car right here. Because, I had a field day with this thing. You know, this thing had a bunch of holes in it where the roof rack once was, and you can even see the shine there. Ooh, yeah. Look at the difference in shine. There's fresh paint here. Because I welded up the holes, put some Bondo down. Didn't turn out too great. I've never used Bondo until this, but yeah, I got that fixed. I did bodywork on this thing. I hope y'all are proud of me. I wish I could have recorded that though, but you know, I'll be able to record this getting fixed and a bunch of other stuff because yeah, I think it's about time I take this thing out of the shipping crate here. But yeah, consider this an outro because this video needs to come out on Sunday. It's currently Friday, and yeah, I have other things that I'm going to be doing this weekend.
you can, there's the Mercury. This thing hadn't really been on video. But, yeah, you can see here, there's a bunch of stuff loaded up. So, let's see. Not mine. I get to race this 250R against my father racing on this 350X. And then, normally I'd have a vintage bike in here, but conveniently someone decided they were going to take forever to send me my shock back, so I'm going to be racing my more modern bike, my 2002 Suzuki R125. Going to be racing this on Saturday and Sunday, and, you know, unfortunately I don't get to race against my dad on his old 82 YZ100, which, don't get confused, it's got a 175 engine in it. But, yeah, that's what I'm getting to do. Ooh. You can tell I like the number 71, and you can also tell that he likes the number 17, because, yeah, 571, 117. Oh, by the way, here's something else that you guys missed. Yeah, there's a shift boot there now. I also fixed up the tracks on this seat a little bit, and I even installed a cooling catch can in this car. So, yeah, even more content y'all got to miss. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed what I got for you this video. And y'all even had to miss out on working on the Impala. I swear, I worked on every single car, and y'all had to miss it, because my camera died. But, I'm going to call it quits. Hope y'all enjoyed, and see y'all next time.